as I keep saying, I'm all about long precious metals, long bonds, short equities. Today, for once, that all lines up nicely. Gold's up, silver's up, bonds are up, equities are all down. As I say, not by a lot. The ES is down, 1.5%, but I'll take it. I will gladly take it. First thing I want to do really, really quick on the spider is show, and this, some people ask me what charts it is. This is my own creation, slopecharts.com. And let me show you a little thing I built in here, which I kind of like. It's an event marker. And I can choose any, or single or plural, events to mark on the chart. And what I'm interested in is the Jackson Hole speech, because people have it in their heads that, boy, oh boy, when Jerome speaks at Jackson Hole, won't that be just great? Let's find out. This is the last 1, 2, 3, 4 Jackson Hole speeches, and the next one's forthcoming Friday morning, right near the opening bell. So this one, market fell. This one, the market fell. And I'm not talking about a day, I'm talking about at least for a few weeks. This one, the market fell. This one, the market fell. There's a trend here. We'll see about this one. I think the market will fall. But my point is that, 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020, every single time the man went up and did his shtick to try to prop up the markets, it had the exact opposite effect. So just saying. So having done that, let's get rid of the event marker just to clean this sucker up and return to our regularly scheduled program. The gap's held, I am relieved to say. Yeah, across the board. I mean, here's the spider, there's the gap. We got close, but we did not cross it. And we're just below this very long-term, well, it's not that long. It goes back to the Halloween bottom, but it's an important trend line. It's the medium-term trend line, so we're just below that. So that's good. Now let's look at some indexes. We don't usually do this. We usually just look at ETFs, but let's look at some indexes, because I'm going to show you just gap after gap after gap has held so far. Let's get feel a little safer. We get some distance between us and them. But as it is now, they have held. Here's the S&P 500, and I'll just mouse over the gap each time. So that held. The Nasdaq Composite, that is the Comp Q, that one held. The Indu, there's no gap here to speak of, but I do want to point out the symmetric triangle for me, and this did hold as well. There's the resistance trend line descending. The NDX, this one has pushed above its gap by a little bit. There was the gap right like so. We got a little above it, but importantly, I wanted to show you this anyway. This trend line goes back 13 years, and we're just below that sucker right there. So that's pretty cool too. And that trend line, by the way, this is just the midline of this very long channel, like measured in decades channel. But that's a beautiful setup right there. But as I say, the gap just a little bit pierced. It's closed. That's fine. Happy to take it. The SOX, the semiconductor index, gap held. None of these were violated. None of them. The Russell 2000, there it is. Sealed that sucker up yesterday. There's a little sunshine left between that, but it's good enough for government work. Beautiful hold on that. And one last one. This again is not a gap, but it's a fantastic setup. This is the XBD, the broker dealer index. Long wedge on that one. Plunge below it, went rocketing higher because Powell, you know what happened. On this day, Powell got on the phone, called Japan, and said, knock it off now or else. And they were like, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. And they reversed everything they said. And they said it publicly. You remember, they said, we will never, ever raise rates again if there's any market volatility, which means never. So they said, yes, sir, Mr. Powell, and then everything reversed. And so Japan is they ultimately will be in even more catastrophic shape than they would have been, because what these central bankers all do is delay the pain, delay the pain, delay the pain, and it makes the pain exponentially worse. You'll see. So that's what happened on that day. And so it went exploding higher, and then it stopped yesterday, right at the trend line. That's God intended. So that's pretty cool stuff right there. So you get the idea. Meme stocks are not dead. They just change costumes. You remember this roaring kitty clown who pushed GameStop and everybody to great benefit to himself, made millions and millions of dollars, and all these hapless little traders just fed the beast, and then he vanished. So he's gone. You don't hear from him anymore, do you? Well, he's got the money. Everybody else is holding GME, this stock sucks. What happened? So GME, nobody cares. ASTS, that's the thing now. So AST, Space Mobile, because as I said a few days ago, people want to trade SpaceX, but there ain't no such thing to trade. So they make rockets, so we'll do this. So this has been explosive, like a 1,000% move higher. And people are like, well, that's kind of expensive. And so anything that has, fuel and a thruster on it, they're going to go for that. So now Intuition Machines, remember this one? This was the company back here that sent a lunar module to our moon, which crashed. And after it crashed, people kind of lost interest, like so. But now that, people have space in the brain again, they're rushing into LUNR. But I just got to say, these meme stocks all have the same ultimate fate, which is like so. This is, an explosion higher, massive increase in volume, and then blah. And so, did it here, collapsed, and then kind of just withered away for years. And then they got the paddles out and it shocked it again and went tumbling away like so. So we usually don't talk about meme stocks here, but just pointing out, if you see ASTs, I've never heard of them. That's what's going on. As I mentioned, precious metals having another good day. I actually did a post early today saying, hey, that's great. I love it. That's terrific. I think the pause that refreshes is coming. I think silver and gold are probably going to cool it for a little bit to digest these gains. But the US dollar is helping because it's weakening. As you can see, here's the DXY. But here's GLD, lifetime high today on both an intraday and a present basis. But this is really up there. I mean, we've burst above even this channel like so. I'm as enthusiastic as ever about this stuff, but it's gonna, don't be shocked if it just eases back for a while. This is kind of nuts. And there's SLV, more skeptical about, because it's got, unlike gold, it's nowhere near lifetime highs, nowhere near it. Those lifetime highs were established 13 years ago, but it's still a nice bullish setup. But shorter term, it's closed up this gap, and we've had this series of lower highs. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if this silver in particular weakens. You can also see this playing out just in the minors. And you can see here, these series of highs, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high, on and on and on. And that's great, but each one has kind of a consolidation period over some weeks to kind of digest those gains and kind of get this gumption up again. So I think gumption is forthcoming. Or digestion at least. The other, besides precious metals, as I said, the other zone that I'm bullish about long-term is bonds. And this is my only long. As I've said, I own precious metals, like for reals, but in terms of trading instruments, I have no position in those anymore. But TLT, I definitely do. So here's the bonds TLT. Nice little base here, nice breaking out. As I said yesterday, it's boring, it's slow. 0.5% here, 0.75% there. That's fine. It pays about 4% anyway, almost, and it's tiptoeing along. So that's just fine. This one I'm not worried about. I'm just going to let it sit perfectly fine. As I showed yesterday, I think rates are going to really sink. Cleveland Cliffs. This is my superstar. This is the best gainer. And I think it's only just begun with this fella. But yeah, here's CLF, beautiful round tops on this, just day by day, slip sliding away. Chipotle, CMG, a stock I never thought I'd trade, but it's actually my second best performer. This is down, and hopefully the patterns speak for themselves as we're going through these. This is a new one, Salesforce. Just got this one today, CRM. Nice gap play on that one. Dell, DELL. I gotta say, it's better than this in terms of raw percentage performance on the puts, but this is a more conservative approach. DraftKings, DKNG, almost a perfect gap seal today, like so. Here's kind of a dull one. General Motors, there's the stop on that. Goldman Sachs, of all things, another one I really didn't think I'd ever trade, but reversing nicely today. It definitely so. The stop's up here. We're down over $7 on this. It is way high on that channel. Micron, MU. I think this is my only semiconductor. Royal Caribbean, got into this one again today, and it's reversing away the strength we saw yesterday. In fact, I'm going to tighten the stop up like so. We'll just anchor that to yesterday's high, which also happens to be this high. Charles Schwab, a trio of tops there, and this is starting to tiptoe away from that resistance. Shopify, SHOP, very tight up against both the gap and the trend line. And the last one, the 12th one, yeah, these are all pretty much in the red today, almost without exception. So we'll close right at the bottom of the hour with the VIX, which, as you know, went from, by some measures, almost 70 to barely hanging on to the teens in the shortest amount of time in human history. But as it is now, we've definitely squeezed the juice out of that lemon, and we have plunged back to key support. And so there we have it. There's the base. And I think real soon now, maybe after Mr. Powell, we can rock and roll again.